Coming up on the Sports Desk, we got a wide variety for you this week, folks. It is spring, so of course, we're going to hit the base paths, as always, to check in on two Pioneer League teams duking it out. One is looking for a bounce back, and another feels like this year may have something special in store for them. Plus, at El Camino College, the Warriors looking to punch their ticket to the postseason as early as possible. See if they can be the first in town to lock off their playoff spot well before anybody else in Torrance. And we're going to sit down with one athlete who may not be wearing school colors when she competes, but her talents are taking this Saxon all over the globe, representing Team USA, all while holding down a 4.0 GPA. Find out who, see all the highlights, and more right here on the Sports Desk. Hey there, Torrance. How's it going? Welcome to another week right here on the Sports Desk. I'm your host, Wan Hernandez. So I already spilled the beans. I told you somebody in town has their postseason plans set, so might as well start off with that, right? The El Camino men's volleyball team has their season winding down while a lot of high school seasons are just starting to enter league play. Jenny Phillips was there to take in the action as the Warriors took on Moore Park to try and seal their playoff tickets.
El Camino hosting Moore Park College tonight for a conference showdown. The last time these two teams met up, the Warriors squeaked out a win in a full 5 sets. Elko also heads into this matchup tied for first place in conference with LA Pierce College. The Warriors entering the game with confidence and taking the first set with ease, 25-17. Moore Park coming out strong for the second set though, with Elko trailing them for a lot of it, but the Warriors eventually pulling ahead and winning this one 25-22. Third set, Moore Park still determined not to go down easy. They battle hard at the end and keep things close, but Elko finally puts them away 25-22 and winning the match in straight sets. Elko outside hitter Trevor Butler with an impressive all-around performance, 10 kills, 7 digs, and 6 blocks for him. Libero Aero Basconcillo adding on a team-high 13 digs as Elko clinches the playoff berth and looks ahead to a tough game Friday.
We got a big game against Long Beach on Friday, and we got to keep it rolling.
Do the same thing that we did against Moore Park, watch the films, and listen to our coaches, and adjust to whatever that they do and apply it to our game.
We got to make more serves in. We got to come to practice tomorrow ready to go, and yeah, we got to keep this energy up.
They beat us up pretty badly in their gym, so I'll be rubbing our noses in it. I'll put the scoreboard on a chalkboard and keep reminding them how we played poorly against them.
After defeating Moore Park in straight sets, the Warriors are looking to get some revenge with Long Beach City College, who they previously lost to on the road. A win would also help the Warriors pull ahead in the first place tie they're currently in for conference and secure them a #1 seed in playoffs. From El Camino College, I'm Jenny Phillips for the Sports Desk.
Thanks for that, Jenny. So holding on to first place now, tied with LA Pierce, the Warriors had just one more home hurdle to overcome, a matchup against Long Beach, the school that handed Elko their only Western State Conference loss this season, and the outcome in round 2 the same once more. This one goes the stretch. Warriors take 2 of the first 3 against the Vikings, but LBC storms back to steal the last 2. Now all that's left for the Warriors in the regular season is that matchup against first place LA Pierce this week before jumping into the first round of the SoCal Regional Playoffs on April 16th. Some more El Camino College news. Just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the Warriors bouncing back from an up and down non-conference schedule to snatch first place of the South Coast Conference right off the bat in SCC play. Rewind just 1 week now, and the Warriors dropping a series to Mount Sac, put them in a 3-way tie for control of the conference, and now, back at it against the South Coast opponent, the Warriors found themselves not fighting to hold on to first place or share the conference leads. No, things have changed quite a bit in the standings of the SEC as far as Elko is concerned. The Warriors, losers of 2 in a row in conference play, and Compton on a 2-game streak. Ralphie Ramirez, the Warriors ace, up against the Tartars. He makes it 5 consecutive starts with at least 7 innings of service or more. He walked 5 batters in the first 2, settled down the rest of the way, and struck out 9 to keep Elko in it till the end. But Compton pitcher Nick Sanchez, equally as impressive, shutting down the Warrior bats. He'd give just 6 hits and 3 unearned runs in the complete game effort. So make it 3 in a row now, and in just a matter of weeks, the Warriors have gone from controlling the conference to tied for 4th place now alongside El Camino Compton Center. As for the Lady Warriors on the diamond, Elko endured a 1-2 week with bookend losses to Long Beach City and Citrus College. Absolutely a wild week of ball at El Camino College. In their 2 losses, the Warriors able to plate just 1 run total. The sandwich game in the middle of the week, a win over LA Harbor. Elko throws down 19. They come out swinging hard in the first, scoring 9 runs right away, with Harbor firing back 7 of their own. So 16 runs scored in the first inning alone between both teams. The Warriors would break it open, though, scoring 10 runs across the 3rd through 5th innings and making it a short day to put Harbor out of their misery. Gabby Fortiani has a huge day in this one, 4 hits with 5 runs batted in to complete the 3-game season sweep over LA Harbor. All right, everybody, coming up after the break. So you got the lowdown on some of the things happening on El Camino's campus. When we come back, we get a little action on the baseball diamond. 2 teams kicking off their Pioneer League seasons, having completely different experiences in preseason ball. That's coming up right after the break.
If I ride, I will know the way the trees smell after the rain. I will grow a heart so strong that hospitals will take Tuesdays off. If I ride, road rage will turn into laughter, and oil tankers will haul chocolate milk. And I won't be a boy or a girl. I will just be a rider.
Hey, what's up? I'm Bella.
Yo, what up? This is Vinny Guadagnino.
I'm Nick Cannon.
Hi, I'm Aziz Ansari. That was your line.
You can help by joining DoSomething.org.
DoSomething.org.
That's why I'm teaming up with DoSomething.org.
Asking folks about marriage.
You know, marriage makes me think of sports. You know, teamwork, dedication.
Okay, let's see what people say.
Let's say your marriage is a sport. What sport would it be?
Basketball.
Surfing.
They have to be a team sport.
A lot of back and forth.
A lot of people watching.
So how many people are influenced by your marriage?
Hundreds.
You really think about the ripple effect.
It's like a wave.
Want to improve your marriage? For ideas, go to foryourmarriage.org. A message from the Catholic Church.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We've taken the last couple weeks to slowly but surely look at the baseball squads around town as they all geared up for regular season play through the Bay League, Pioneer League, and Delray League. 2 of those Pioneer League teams, the South Spartans and the Torrance Tartars, have at times looked completely different, with South padding an impressive preseason resume of double-digit wins this spring, and the Torrance Tartars winning 1, then losing 1 pretty much the entire stretch. Picking South to open with a 2-game sweep over the Tartars wouldn't have been a bold prediction, but when South took the first of 2 games with a 6-1 win at Torrance, not many would have expected that the Spartans may have awoken a sleeping giant. Vi Salas gonna explain that for you.
At 6-9, Torrance knew something had to change if the Tartars were going to reach their goal of making the CIF playoffs. Torrance had lost its league opener to South and had a day in between games with the Spartans to right the ship. The Tartars turned to a tried-and-true method.
We went into practice yesterday. It's the hardest practice we've had, most focused practice we had. We didn't want to lose twice to these guys, and I mean, the emotion, everything was up today.
Using that momentum, Torrance jumped on South quickly, getting 1 run in the first off a Kyle Ulande RBI triple. The Tartars would score 3 more times, but all they really needed was that first run, because senior pitcher Kyle Mitchell was in control.
So what a game. We've had a lot of adversity thus far this season. These guys came out and beat us pretty good the other day, and he got the ball and he stayed out there all day and just kept going after these guys. So just real proud of him, and the team needed him. I needed him, the coaches needed him, the players needed him, and he stepped up for us today.
Mitchell, with Torrance's back against the wall, came through with the gem, tossing a 3-hit complete game shutout, leading to a 4-0 Tartar victory.
We were on a 3-game skid. I mean, we really need this W, and we feel great now.
And with its first W in the Pioneer League season, Torrance feels like it has new life and new confidence heading into the meat of its schedule.
If we're focused like this, anything can happen.
Trying to come in and win the league and then see what we can do, as you say, with another clean slate if we make the playoffs, and try to have some fun with that last chapter of our season. But for now, we got spring break, and then we got to keep going in league and see how the story unfolds.
As for South, assistant coach Tom Sain saw the writing on the wall as the Spartans entered the game.
I just thought we came out a little bit tentative or lethargic. They just didn't get after it today like they normally do.
Even with the loss, South is winners of 5 of its last 7 games. As senior catcher Mike Esparza explains, this team has a chance to be special.
This year is a lot of camaraderie, and we're real close, and we play as a team this year, and it's a real difference, you could tell. So once we keep playing more and more games and we start seeing how good of a team we really are, maybe we can come out and really put it to some guys, you know.
I think moving forward, we're gonna reload and get back to hard work. And a loss magnifies a lot of things, and when you win, it's such a great feeling. But again, we'll be all right, and we'll move forward and do some damage in this league.
If South and Torrance's opening series in the Pioneer League is any indication, this league is wide open, and we'll just have to wait and see who comes out on top. For the Sports Desk, I'm Vi Salas.
So Torrance gets what they need to start off league play, feeling like they can get something going. The Tartars still hovering under 500 on the season, but carrying that 1-1 split with the squad that looks to be the Pioneer League favorite right now, a big vote of confidence for Torrance. As for those South Spartans, they will have to regroup real fast because they have a double dip against Harvard Westlake this week in Studio City. The non-league game, of course, has no bearing on their Pioneer standings, but Harvard Westlake ranked number 4 in the nation right now according to MaxPreps.com. So a strong showing and stealing a W or 2 from a team in the national spotlight, something the Spartans are going to be focused on this week. Checking in on some other baseball teams in town, North High feeling real good about themselves right now. They've battled their way to a 6-game winning streak, capped off over the weekend with a thumping of Santa Monica. Roman Luna racks a triple and 4 RBI, one of only 2 Saxons with the multiple hit game in which they scored 12 runs. So the whole North lineup getting in on this one. The Saxons sitting in control of the Pioneer League early on after they swept Lawndale the week before. And speaking of streaks, the West Warriors sitting on a bad one after starting the season 9-1, only to tally off 5 losses in a row. They finally reversed the curse against Temple City and a close one, 3-2. Probably just as exciting as getting the win itself, they managed to get the monkey off their back before facing a Bay League rival this week in a 2-game series to kick off their league season. So West coming off their 10th win of the season. Costa also has 10 under their belt to this point. They're coming off a non-league loss to South Hills. On the volleyball court now, South High running into plenty of trouble against the Burroughs Indians. The Spartans and Indians have faced off more than half a dozen times in the last 3 years. Last year's CIF semifinals match, a memorable one, with the Spartans advancing to eventually take home a CIF championship. But this time, South drops their 2nd match in a row to Burroughs this year in 4 sets. The Spartans even it up at 1 set apiece. Then, after jumping up 6-1 in the 3rd, they allow the Indians to score 9 of the next 10 points. That run too much to overcome as the Spartans were unable to force a 5th set in this non-league match against one of the area's top competitors. The Spartans sitting at 3-0 in league play though, their next Pioneer League matchup coming against El Segundo next week at home. Also in the Pioneer League volleyball, North and Torrance going head-to-head in the early league season matchup. Still early April, but every match going to count for these 2 teams as they are already looking at each other as competition for the league's 3rd place finish. Very big deal, of course, because it's an automatic CIF playoff berth. Torrance digs down in the 1st set to fight off 3 consecutive set points and gives North a wake-up call. After the 1st set shocker to the Saxons, they come back and rally off 3 in a row to snag the ever-important Crosstown Pioneer League match. And another volleyball score here, this time a Bay League matchup between West High and Peninsula. Devin Berkey shows up big for the Warriors with 30 kills, and Jared Martin's 24 digs helped the team snag their 1st Bay League win of the season. 1st Bay League win, but West High enjoying a lot of them on the year so far, sitting at 15-3 after this one. And on the golf course, the Torrance Tartars holding on to a very impressive undefeated season. One score coming in at 1 under par, with the next 3 Tartars finishing 1, 2, and 3 strokes over par respectively to turn in Torrance's lowest scorecard of the season and take down North High in the Ocean League showdown. All right, everybody, coming up after the break, we step out of the box scores and highlights for a moment to check out 2 sports figures around town doing big things. The second part of our look at Bishop Montgomery's basketball program and the man who will be back leading them next year into another title hunt. Plus, we're going to visit with a student athlete who spends her weekends and summers not training with classmates or playing in games wearing a North Saxons jersey, but travels the country collecting medals and awards of her own. That's coming up when we get back.
Sergeant Michelle Garcia served meritoriously in Iraq and has the medals to prove it. Soon after leaving the Navy, Lieutenant Chris Scott found a job, a home, and started a family of his own. Corpsman Richard Stokely took the skills he learned in Vietnam and put them to good use as a paramedic. But soon after leaving the military, each of these veterans fell on hard times and faced homelessness. Even after Michelle lost all her savings, even after Chris wasn't able to pay his mortgage, and even after Richard battled alcoholism for years, they each reached out for help when they needed it most. A simple phone call put them in touch with a trained professional from the Department of Veterans Affairs. That call got Michelle a place to stay until she could afford one of her own, put Chris in touch with employment assistance, and found Richard a substance abuse program. These veterans are success stories not only for how they were able to help others while serving their country, but for how they were able to let others help them. If you know of or are a veteran in need, make the call.
I think it's important for young people to have a mentor. A mentor could be a regular, everyday person. It's just somebody there to help the child.
Knowing I've had an influence in Chad makes me feel great. By having a mentor, he has someone to bounce ideas off of. He has someone to also challenge him and help him see a vision for the future.
What you'll get out of it is just the satisfaction of knowing that you've helped somebody. Mentoring works.
Become a mentor.
Hello once again and welcome back to the Sports Desk. Last week, we had the opportunity to give you an in-depth look at one of the key pieces in the Bishop Montgomery basketball squad's huge success this season. Not so much to take a look back on the season that's ended, but more to give you a preview of who will be leading the way for the Knights come next year. And of course, in our second part of this look at the Knights, we now get to meet the main man on the Bishop campus when it comes to the hardwood. Because you can have all the talent in the world lined up on your roster like Bishop Montgomery usually does, but of course, it takes a true leader to maintain a powerhouse program. Brittany Johnson is here to introduce you to the other key to Bishop's next season on the court, Coach Doug Mitchell.
We all know that Bishop Montgomery has had a standout boys basketball team through the years. And here at the Sports Desk, we've introduced you to the many players who have had the privilege of wearing a Knights jersey. Now I'd like to introduce you to the man behind the success.
I'm the head coach. It's my job to make sure we're playing as hard as we possibly can and as well as we possibly can.
Doug Mitchell has been the boys varsity basketball coach since the 2004 season with an overall record of 176 wins and 59 losses. And when it comes down to his coaching philosophy?
I think my philosophy is always start at the defensive end. We've always started defensively, and if you can't guard, you're probably not going to be able to play for me. You're probably not going to get on the floor.
That defense is what helped the team make school history.
You want to get easy shots, either on the offensive glass or with dribble penetration, but defense can create a lot of them. And we like to run, obviously. We want to play up tempo. And Justin's the point guard, creates a lot of defensive pressure.
This year, the Knights broke their record for most wins in a row with 29. They won the most games in a regular season, which was 32, and they achieved their highest national ranking at number 2. Though the Knights broke many records this year, the one thing that they didn't do is achieve their two most important goals, a CIF championship and a state title championship.
It's the worst part of coaching. I mean, you care about these guys, you spend so much time. I mean, here we are 32-2, and unfortunately, I'm going to remember the 2 losses because I'll try to figure out what could I have done different, it's the nature of coaching.
As a coach, do you ever watch any other coaches and take anything away from them?
Oh, constantly. I think I'm always trying to learn, and I think every coach has their own philosophy, but it doesn't mean you can't learn from other coaches. If I see a set or I see something I like or I see something I like that. I saw something in the game the other day that I think, we're good for Justin next year. So a little set we're going to put in.
The season may have just ended, but Coach is already looking ahead to next year and is excited about the 5 underclassmen who will be returning.
Well, we did lose a lot of really good basketball players. You don't replace really good basketball players. You bring in a different set, and each team's different. I will say that as a coach, if you could pick one position to have back, be your point guard. I think every coach in the country would say that.
Thanks for that, Brittany. And before we wrap it all up for the day, time for just one more look at a local sports figure from North High this time. Special athlete who spends her days competing all over the map. 3 years with Team USA competing against the best of the best. Las Vegas one weekend, then off to Montreal or Oregon the next. All with enough space and energy to come back home and hold a 4.0 GPA. Our Letitia Cahey sits down to show us the laundry list of accomplishments Jessica Kwong can impress us all with.
What were you doing at 17, or what are you doing at 17? Well, I know I had nearly accomplished as much as Jessica Kwan has, and she's not finished yet. She has been to Malaysia, Brazil, and Ontario, Canada, racking up medals for the United States in karate.
Jessica's training started at the age of 4, and by the age of 7, she already had multiple gold medals to go along with the national championship title she earned in 2003.
At a young age, I thought it was just kind of like another gold medal. Like, I didn't know the, what's the word? Like the amplitude, or like the massiveness of the meaning behind that title. I kind of was like, oh, it's cool, another gold medal is nice.
After being forced to stop training due to a medical condition caused by exercise, she would soon learn that karate was more than just cool, shiny medals. It was a way of life.
During that hiatus, I really realized that, you know, I'd rather just go through the medical condition because I couldn't do without the training. So I kind of worked through it, and I realized the more that I trained, the more my body kind of acclimated to the condition. And now I barely even have it.
At a young age, JJ, which is what family and friends called Jessica, was tried, not only by physical hurdles, but mental ones as well.
It was kind of just a lot of people telling me that you won't make it and stuff like that. And, you know, at a young age, it's kind of hard to take that, but then I kind of use it as motivation to work harder. And that's one of the more mental obstacles I have to overcome, trying to put myself first rather than letting other people tell me what I can and can't do.
That drove Jessica's training to a whole nother level. She joined a sister dojo in Fullerton where she was asked to join a team.
We were actually sent to the Olympic Training Center to train together, and it was amazing because it's where the Olympians, they slept and they ate and they trained. So it was just like a bonding experience, and we really became like soul sisters.
Jessica's team seemed destined to be together. This would be their time to make history, being the first U.S. Youth Girls team to make it to the Pan American Championships.
When we went there, we said, if we're already here, we're going to aim for gold. There's nothing less that we should come up with. And we just work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and we just dedicated, we pour our hearts out on the floor on the training practices, and, we achieved our gold.
Not only has Jessica succeeded at team competition, but individual as well. She has participated in local, regional, world, and specialty competition, but she continues to thirst for more.
I definitely want to be both a junior and senior world medalist. It's definitely a huge goal of mine. Whether I do get there or not, the journey there is always what we want, the maturity and the training is what is more important than the medals. And of course, I would love to pass down my knowledge that I'm gaining as an athlete to students in the future.
Jessica is already doing that. Along with training throughout the week and extensively on weekends, she also teaches a class on Sundays while maintaining a 4.0 GPA.
It is kind of hard to partition, education and athletics, so sometimes when a competition's up, you can't help but be excited. But, I learned that, focus, education's always going to be first. As much as I love karate, education has to be first because, university, you need to get into a good university.
The dedication and focus karate has taught Jessica is paying off for her academically as well. Her hard work earned her a scholarship to Loyola Marymount University. Inspired by her mother, she will study biology as a precursor to medical school.
Doctor by day and sensei by night. As cliche as it sounds, dreams do come true, as long as you put in the hard work, and you put in the determination, and you never lose your goals, you never lose focus of it, you really can achieve anything, as long as you have your soul and your heart in it.
Thanks for that, Letitia. If you want to follow Jessica's success in some of her sport's grandest events, you can check out her personal website, jjkwong.com. It's got some Team USA videos, but even a little more impressive is the list of events she'll be attending. This is one busy high school student, everybody. Folks, you see me put it up there every week because we want to hear from you right here at the Sports Desk. Fill us in on more athletes like Jessica that might not be getting their moment in the spotlight here in town otherwise. We always want to see it all. You know that. Email and phone number still the same. You know where to find us and how to get a hold of yours truly. Always anxious to share a great story all around the South Bay. All right, Torrance, that wraps up another week in South Bay sports action. We'll see you right here on the Sports Desk next time. Hey there, everybody. Thanks